Hello, all my VIPs and whatnot. Good morning to you all. This video is going to be focusing on Tay and Lou, their situation, but it's not going to be on their recent situation. It's going to be focusing on a video that they did years ago. So it's going to be a video called the You Can't Drive prank. What it is that Lou, the one that has a darker skin complexion and she usually wears wigs and whatnot, she does a prank on Tay. Tay is the one that looks mixed. She looks black and mixed with something else and whatnot. And she usually has her hair curly or dyed and whatnot. Lou does a prank on Tay, and the prank is basically showing in different ways that Tay can't drive. So yeah, that's the video on it. And it reveals to us how they argue. It's like one of the first showings in their relationship, how they argue with each other. Now, just backstory, Tay and Lou were a YouTube couple on YouTube and whatnot. They did various things like pranks, mukbangs and whatnot, driving around and whatnot. They were a very popular couple for a few years until they broke up last year. And then they started exposing each other on the internet, talking about how each one had abused the other. Basically, they're canceling each other. So it's very bad, because then you look at these people and you realize, like, damn, these are 30-year-old people canceling each other on the internet. It's like, damn, what has the world come to? Like, that type of shit. But anyways, let's get into it. Now, the video starts out with Lou explaining what she's going to do. She's going to basically show in various ways that she thinks that Tay can't drive. And she's going to be like, saying words like, oh, something like you can't drive. And then bracing herself, putting on the seatbelt, bracing herself against different things as Tay drives and whatnot. Just annoying things like that. And Lou said that she's going to do that at the beginning of the video. It starts and we see how quickly Tay can get angry. Like, that's the thing. We witnessed how easy it is to make Tay angry and whatnot. And that's not saying like, oh, anybody could just do this. No, it's just with Lou. Lou can get Tay to that point. And it was actually very quickly she did. It's because, Lou was saying certain things like, oh, you see that type shit? Like, it's annoying. Like when a person is just trying to treat you like you can't drive. They're basically like, can you see that? Or did you see that? Or, oh, did you see this car was inching up beside you? Or did you know? Like that type shit. It was annoying. Lou did that shit, being irritating. And all for the sake of the prank, Tay responded in a way to where it's like because she was already annoyed. Like, that's the thing, is not before the video, but during the video she was fine. And then after Lou was just like, did you see that? She almost instantly got annoyed. Like, it was like you could see on her face. She was just like, did I see what? What did I see? That type shit. Like, to that point to where you could possibly, annoyed, right? And then Lou started doing certain shit afterwards. She started bracing. Bracing is, you already know, hopefully, it's holding on to different shit and kind of preparing yourself for, let's say if you're about to crash, it's kind of like you're wide-eyed and you're about to, that type shit. That's what Lou was basically doing. And Tay was just like, why are you bracing? What is, all this type shit. So she was annoyed, right? And then it's like as the video progresses, she started yelling. Like, she was even more annoyed and irritating. And then you see into how Tay is in an argument. Tay goes below the belt, okay? And this is not on some, oh, I side with Lou, I side with Tay. Bitch, I don't side with either of them. They're both toxic, and they both have issues that they should have solved in their 20s, but instead they let them persist into their 30s. Like, they both are problematic. But Tay, how she is, she goes below the belt in an argument, and she basically was on the verge, not on the verge, she did say this. She was just like, oh, well, why don't you drive? Oh, wait, you can't. You don't have a license. She said that shit to Lou. And I was just like, ooh. I was like, oh my gosh, Lou, how are you going to respond? Like, that type of shit. And what Lou does in an argument, she never shuts up, basically. She's irritating, but she's more quiet, and she never shuts up. So she goes on and on with that shit. While Tay goes below the belt and is condescending. That type shit. And my response to her saying that shit, I was thinking in my head, just like, I have relatives that didn't have a driver's license and knew how to drive. That was years ago. I don't have them now, okay? Don't try to do no shit to me, okay? They have a driver's license and they drive now, but they've had times where they didn't have a driver's license, but they've driven before. So when Tay said that, I was just like, people can drive without a driver's license. Like, they know how to drive without having a license, So it's not like if Lou was in the front seat that she couldn't drive you at all. Lou even admits, she was just like, I've driven many times before. I've driven for a while before. And Tay was so mad. She'd be like, oh yeah? For how long? And then Lou would be like, for a while. And then Tay was just like, how long is a while? Like that type of shit. I was just like, you making me mad. Hold on. I was like, huh? Damn, bitch. Like, I was just like that. But that's the thing. This is the first instance you see in their relationship how they argue. Like, even though they're real on their YouTube channel, they never show you, like, they show you that they've argued before, like afterwards. It's like the aftermath of an argument. They'll show you how they are, how they're feeling. They're mostly sad, like, you know, they're more sad. They're more like, you know, quiet and whatnot. But this is the first instance where you see like something that was turning into an argument and whatnot. At the end of the video, Tay finds out what, like, you know, the whole thing was, that it was a prank. And there were times in the video where she was just like, I'm gonna cut this out, but, you know, I'm gonna need you. At the beginning, she was like, I'm gonna cut this out, but I'm gonna need you to stop doing some stuff like that. And I was like, is this how the video goes? Like, other YouTube reactors were pointing to that. They were just like, that's how they do that. Because how they normally did it was that they would start it off like, hey, Thang Thang gang, it's Tay, it's Lou, it's Tay, it's Lou, what's up, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, what we eating, baby girl. Like, that type shit. That's how it went. Like, it was back and forth, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, Thang Thang, like that. They literally, out of nowhere, said, what's up, Thang Thang, Lou, Thang Thang gang, it's Tay and Lou. They did that out of nowhere, and I was just like, that's how they do it. After an argument, they just start the video and they cut out the argument. They start the video with the whole saying, and then they continue it. And one of the YouTube reactors was just like, I can't do that shit. Like, you know, and she does YouTube with her with her significant other as well. She's just like, after we get into an argument, we can't just redo the opening for the video. We have to do it the next day because we're both mad. Like, you know, but it shows you how used to it Tay and Lou were. They're used to arguing and then doing the video. They're used to this shit. It even tells you in their recent drama, like, one of them mentions how they argued a lot. They argued almost every day, oftenly, like, you know. So yeah, but one thing I want to say about how I am, where I can relate to both of them in aspects of this, how I am when I argue or whatnot, is that I don't. No, I'm just kidding. When it comes to an argument with me, or like when I'm in a situation with a person that's irritating me, or when I'm being irritating and whatnot, when a person's irritating me and all that stuff like that, my first response is not to just be a smart ass back to them. Okay, eventually I get too overwhelmed. Okay, at first I can't just smart ass back to them. I can't do that. I get too mad. I'm an emotional person. My emotions fluctuate to the point to where I can get overwhelmed very easy. I can get frustrated too easily and whatnot. You know, so I guess I can relate to Tay in that instance where she got annoyed easily, but I can't snap back. When it comes to a stranger, yeah. When it comes to like my own siblings, it's the same way too. I'm more so, I'll just shut up. I'll be quiet and I'll just shut up because I'm too mad in that moment. But if I'm pushed even further, I'll just start yelling and whatnot, or I'll just start cursing them out, or I'll feel in an instance to want to fuck them up. Okay, so it's like, fight. But I've never done that in all 12 years of that. I've never done the last thing where fighting and whatnot. Honestly, I don't see a lot of fights worth it. There's not really an instance where I saw a fight was like worth it enough for me to partake in it. So I was just like, let me not do that. But I've been in an instance where I've just yelled back, or I've cursed somebody back out and whatnot. Or when I was younger, I used to get so overwhelmed I would literally cry because I'm just like, I'm so fucking mad, and they would be thinking like, oh, you hurt her feelings or you're upset. Like, bitch, you didn't hurt my feelings. I want to fuck you up. Like, that's the thing. But I literally restricted myself from doing that shit. So that's how I am in that instance. So with Lou, like, well, when I'm irritating someone, it's similar to Lou, except I can stop. With Lou, she doesn't normally stop. She can keep going. I can't keep going, okay? I get to where I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, that type shit. And it's most of the time I don't realize I'm irritating that person. Like, you know? And then it's usually like I'm irritating them. They get smart ass with me. And then it's just like, bitch, what? And then I get smart ass with them and curse them out. And then it's like that. And then I shut up because I'm just like, okay, bitch, you're getting me mad now. So yeah. So I can relate to them on both that instance with like Lou basically irritating somebody, but then she doesn't shut up, so I can't relate to her on that. And then Tay getting so mad that she yells, but Tay gets annoyed first and then condescending and then yells and then goes below the belt. Me, on the other hand, I don't go below the belt. I've had too many times where someone else has gone below the belt with me. I don't know how to do that without yelling, cursing, or wanting to fight you where it comes to going below the belt. So I don't normally do that. The worst part that I do is yell or curse you out or literally fucking want to fight you. Like, that's the thing. So I've had too many instances where someone's did that with me. Even a relative. I gotta say, for recent time, I gotta say months prior. Like, that's the thing. Months prior, it's not gonna be too personal, whatnot. It's just I was undermined on something that I knew good about, and I say good about. I'm sorry, my voice just I was undermined on something that I knew about by this relative, and my response was to yell at them. Like, I could feel myself already being like, I opened my mouth, I was just like, ah, and then I shut up immediately because I realized that I still have that immature spot in me. I find that as immature because, you should know by now how to argue. Like, but I have not been in that many instances to where I just argue. I can argue back and forth. Like I said, I'm too emotional to do that. And I found that out months ago that I still am. Like, a lot of those instances where I was in arguments with strangers or even with relatives, a lot of those, I gotta say, were over 4 years ago. So it's like over 4 years ago, over 3 years ago, a lot of times too. So I haven't been in instances where I've been back and forth with somebody in a while. So for this to happen months prior, for that to be the first time in years where I'm arguing with another individual, and it had to be family, and his family basically going below the belt with me, my reaction was not the reaction I expected in that moment. I thought, oh yeah, I'm smart enough to just argue back with them and be a smart ass to them. But I couldn't. I wanted to yell at them. It's not a relative. It's not a relative that's my age. They were older than me. So that's what had me out in the back line again. I was like, not only are you undermining me and my experience, you're way older than me. You shouldn't even be doing this, right? But my response was to yell, and I realized I'm still immature. I can't even argue back with you correctly. I feel like yelling at you, and I almost did, and that's not correct. I feel like cursing, actually, but I'm not gonna curse out my relative. The fuck? I'm not prepared for that type of that's too much. But I was just like, yeah, that's not. I'm not prepared. All that type shit. So yeah. So that was months prior. I've already worked on that already and whatnot. I know what to do now in that instance, and plus I'm gonna prepare more for arguments, but at the same time though, I'd rather bring myself out of a situation where I'm having to argue with a person like that. Prior to that, I was more so telling them about how nobody can drive here. I was telling them, and I think I was annoying them by telling them that, and then that's what caused them to undermine me. And that's what also had me wanting to yell back and be like, you don't know, I wanted to be like, you don't know shit, you're not around me oftenly, so it's like, how could you know that I don't know how to do this? You're not even around oftenly to know what I can do. So I wanted to be like that. But anyways, that's why I'm talking about this video. I can relate to it, because it literally something happened prior when it comes to it. So, it showed us how they argue and whatnot. And Tay and Lou arguing and whatnot. At the end, they did the prank and whatnot. Tay, for some reason, she edits. Tay is the one that edits the videos. She still put this video out. I don't know why. But, I don't know why as a direct confirmation. But my guess, it really is that she wanted the money from it. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, but YouTubers can make thousands of dollars off of YouTube. YouTubers can make a lot of money off of YouTube, okay? Tay and Lou have over 1 million subscribers now on their joint channel. It's called Thang Thang Gang now, but it used to be called Tay and Lou. They have over 1 million subscribers, and they get a lot of views. They get, for every 1,000 of views, you get, I guess, $2 to $7. I looked it up and whatnot. The error came on. You can make a lot of money off of YouTube, okay? So it's like, her putting out that video, it really does show you that they really were focused on money sometimes, because otherwise, why are you showing your audience how bad your argument could go. Like, it didn't look right. I was just like, Tay, you literally just went below the belt and said this shit to Lou. And Lou, you literally are showing us how easily you can irritate Tay. Like, you're both toxic. Why did you put this video out? So yeah, and that's what I had to say about that one video specifically, because it makes sense now to everything. It makes sense how they argue now and everything with it. How it started was that they broke up months prior, like, a year actually ago during the summer. And then 2 months ago, they made a video together talking about why they broke up. And then just 10 days ago, Lou came out with a video. She didn't say anything much about Tay at all. In fact, she didn't really even speak about Tay. It was more so Lou's own channel, her own YouTube channel and whatnot. Then, that was Lou. Tay came out with a video exposing Lou for Lou abusing her. Saying how Lou would spit on her when Lou got butt drunk. She would get terribly drunk. And during this time, it only showed Lou's response. It never showed how Tay was with Lou. And so it would show like, oh, Tay would be like, why did you spit on me? Or why did you throw a crock pot at the back of my head? Like, why did you do these things? Right? More people start investigating into it more. Lou made a response back. She talked about how Tay was controlling their whole relationship, and how Tay could be very provoking. And then many YouTube reactants, they also looked at the videos and whatnot. And then Tay made a response video to Lou's response original video. And then she exposed Lou's entire backstory. The entire thing. She aired out Lou's dirty laundry. She said a lot of unnecessary shit about Lou, and it was very terrible. And I was thinking in my head, just like, you know what? Lou should have left. I don't know why she stayed in a relationship like that if Tay was literally controlling her. And I gotta say, for the recent drama, another thing, for their relationship, Lou let Tay control her whole life. And Lou remind Tay that Lou is 29 years old. Or Lou is in her good. She's 25 at the beginning of the relationship. I think their ages are kind of weird to me, but they were in late 20s. Lou let Tay control her entire life. Lou did not have anything. She couldn't put stuff in her name. She didn't have her own phone. She lived with 15 other people because she was an atmosphere model, and basically her source of income was not really money. It was more so her staying in a home because she didn't have one. She did not have custody of her child. She didn't have much of anything. And Tay saw this as a way of saving her. Tay took pity on Lou. And Lou allowed her to do that. Lou stayed with Tay. They had so many arguments. Within the month of them being together the first time, only a month, their first month, they had been in a fight. Physical fight. They physically fought each other. They are both fucking abusive to each other, bro. And then years on, how I said in that driving video, how Tay is towards Lou and how Lou is towards Tay. Lou knows how to push Tay's buttons enough to get her automatically angry. Tay knows how to hit below the belt and be condescending and bring up the fact that Lou still doesn't have a lot of things to her own self and name. They both loved each other more than they loved themselves, and it shows. Because why was Lou okay with Tay controlling her whole life, and why was Tay okay with Lou basically not providing much of anything? It really just shows you two broken individuals who never should have got with each other to begin with, and should have never stayed when they were with each other. And that's all I had to say for the Tay and Lou video. I probably would have put out more and it made this longer, but I wanted to make it 20 minutes, kind of as an Unprovoked video. Should I put Unprovoked Tay and Lou YouTuber edition? I kind of want to. Let's do that. Let's actually do that, Hey, but that's really it for the video and whatnot. That's all I had to say. I a little bit of my ideas. There is a lot more to it, but I feel like there are YouTube reaction channels that do a much better job of explaining their whole ideas of the Tay and Lou situation. Whereas I mainly just talked about one video of theirs, of their first argument displayed on camera, and my own personal experience when it comes to arguments and how I am. I don't think I did as well as them, but I'm glad that I still did this one, because baby, this drama is terrible. They both need to stop, all that type shit. But yeah, I'm glad I did this. Have a great day, you guys, and may peace be with you for an eternity.